In this video, I'll show you 4 simple thinking shifts that helped one of my students go from about 200 to 1500 rating in just 1 year. These are the exact mistakes that hold most players back for years. Here's the first position. It is white to play. What do you think about it? And by the way, of course, this black's king on f6 looks really weird. It arose from the fried liver attack, and there it happens sometimes. But it doesn't even matter. It is white to play. And what do you think? How would you play here as white? Now, as a coach, I analyze a lot of games of students. And I can tell you that I clearly see those patterns, what separates beginners from advanced level players. And in such positions, usually because you see that this king is so exposed and it is so tempting to go after it, people usually start attacking it somehow. Maybe they play d4, trying to remove this pawn and get to the king. Maybe f4, maybe they jump with the knight forward, trying to deliver a check one way or the other. But do you know what's wrong with all of these moves? Let's say you go d4. Trying to hit this pawn, maybe play queen g5 to attack the king. It all looks good, but it forgets the first critical rule. Before you attack, check their threats. So all these moves of white, blunders, queen takes g2, which hits the rook. And initially you might think, okay, still I can counter check, right, with queen takes e5 or something like that. But then white's attack vanishes, and now the rook is still hanging. And after the rook moves, black has different ways to attack. For example, bishop h3 is the most obvious one with a bunch of threats, and now white is losing, which is especially sad because white was winning just 2 moves ago. In the actual game, white played the correct move, white castled, which also guards this vulnerable pawn on g2, and black cannot capture it anymore. Black in turn captured the other pawn on c2, and how would you play here? It feels really tempting for white to push this pawn forward to f4, given the fact that you've got the rook behind it, and that would directly target your opponent's king. Looks like you're very close to a victory. But do you see what is a potential issue with this move pawn f4? Again, before you attack, check their threats. What is black going to do here? Perhaps they want to play something like bishop c5 hitting the queen. And now imagine you move this pawn out of the way. That bishop c5 would actually be a skewer to your king and queen if the pawn is moving forward, right? So that could be a potential issue. And white played king h1, which is perhaps not the strongest move, but still it avoids that major pitfall, because let's be real, on this level, most games are lost because of one move blunders. And after that, white transitioned into his own attack and within a few moves won the game. Moving on to the second example. Here, white sacrificed the bishop to launch an attack on the king side. And on the next turn, he also used an interesting tactical trick, making use of the pin and forcing the king to move. Now bishop takes f7. So far it all looks pretty cool for white, but at this point let me once again highlight the difference, because here's what happens pretty often on beginner to intermediate level. Everybody loves to attack and everyone tries to attack, but here's how they usually do it. They see that the king is exposed, and so they think, okay, how am I gonna checkmate it? So maybe I'm gonna play something like this, and then queen takes h7 checkmate, right? Looks good. But what's the obstacle here? The obstacle is your opponent will also do something, right? Let's say black now starts fighting back, black trades off the knight with a check, then captures this pawn with a check, and now white is about to lose. And here's the real question. Why do you think this plan failed despite black's king being so exposed and vulnerable? Because in order for your attack to be successful, you want to outnumber black, right? And here we've got basically 2 attackers versus 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 defenders. That's clearly not the case, and that is why that attack failed so badly. In the actual game, white castled, which is not the best move actually, but I'm still happy about it because it follows the second main difference between stronger players versus beginners: attack with pieces, not with hope. Stronger players avoid those one-movers, one-move attacks hoping for your opponent to not see it, but instead they develop, they bring up reserves, and then attack as an assault team, which is way more effective. So here black played rook to e7, getting rook out of danger, knight d5, brings the knight into play, knight e5, hitting the queen, queen goes back to h5, also not the strongest move, but still, I mean, it actually managed to work out, even though I don't know if white blundered this bishop on f7, but after the trade, it still worked out, because now the rook is hanging and white finally captured it. On the next turn, now white launches pawns into the attack, also pretty cool, bringing even more pieces. Now e5, now these pawns are getting active. If pawns are exchanged, then the rook will be really active along the f-file, and this attack pretty quickly becomes successful. c6 hits the knight, By the way, how do you move the knight here? What will you do here? That actually is the third rule. Go forward, not backward. Typically, it's our instinct to retreat the piece back home, back to safety, and we usually just retreat it back to avoid for the piece to be lost. But strong players go different. They go forward because they know that these moves put pressure on your opponent, and they are the most annoying for your opponent. Here black played queen b6, checking the king, then played rook to f8, perhaps thinking that he finally completed his development, but unfortunately for black, the game is over. And you'll probably agree that it's actually quite impressive for an 8-year-old boy. At the beginning of 2025, he was rated 200, and then in the second half of the year, he already won a number of tournaments and got his rating to approximately 1500. And then he shared all these nice stories and photos with me, which of course is very nice for me to see. But I also hope that it will inspire you to see that chess progress can be really fast if you know what to focus on. Moving on to the next game, black here played pawn to b5, attacking the bishop. How would you play here as white? And I hope that you got that previous rule that we talked about. Go forward, not backward. Fight that natural tendency to retreat to safety. This is what everyone does, but that's not what strong players do, because strong players know that you gotta move forward. These moves create threats and put pressure on your opponent. They force them to defend and to do stuff reacting to your moves, not accomplishing their own plans. And after bishop b7, it is white to play again. And how do you find correct moves in the middle game? Basically, it's the same stuff. You try to go forward and create threats. By going forward, mainly you want to go into opponent's half of the board and make threats there. So here white goes g5, black is trying to keep the position closed. White goes knight h4, aiming to move the knight forward. Now knight f5 hits the queen, g6, this time exploits the pin on the pawn. And you see that all these moves are forward moves of white, right? And it doesn't also waste time. Now rook g1, okay, bring rooks into play. White is not wasting time playing anything like a3 or anything else. White is not wasting time exchanging anything. So again, just get focused on the right thing, go into opponent's side of the board, make threats there, play forced moves, checks, captures, attacking moves. And, being a grandmaster myself and talking to also some of my friends who are like 2700 plus rated grandmasters, I can tell you that that's how, strong players find correct moves. It sounds maybe even overly simplistic, but yeah, you look at opponent's side of the board and you ask yourself, how do you go forward to that side and make threats? Here, rook takes g7, sacrifice of rook, and white wins. By the way, if you like these kind of simple guidelines, I call them principles. I cover them in more depth in my free masterclass. I'll link it down below. In this position, it was black to play, and objectively, black's position is tough. Black is down a pawn, this bishop is pinning the knight down to the queen, the knight is also adding pressure, and white is doing really well here. Now, what do you do here as black? Black played g5, trying to kick this bishop away, and then after an exchange, oh no, white just retreated. Okay, what do you do then? Black continued with the pawn to h5. This hits the knight, and now after an exchange, black threatens to push the pawn forward and to trap the bishop. And although objectively this plan is not supposed to work, but in real life, those things usually do work. Here white played h3, preparing this escape square for the bishop, and they were happy that the bishop is now safe, but black came up with another cool move, knight to b3. This time, it's a double attack. The white's rook is hanging, and also queen takes f2, almost color's checkmate is coming. White played f3 to counter his color's checkmate threat, but now knight takes a1, grabs the rook. And now white comes knight to d5. It's a pretty strong thing, right? Hits the queen, hits this pawn on c7, and if the knight captures the pawn, it's gonna fork the king and rook, you see? So that's pretty unpleasant thing. What do you do there? Again, all that is played in spirit of the fourth rule. Offense is the best defense. And here black played queen d4. Instead of defending, black keeps creating counter threats. And even on the next move after queen e2, again, just think about this position. White neutralized this threat. Now knight takes c7 is coming with a check to the king, attack of the rook, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of black players would try to counter this threat somehow. And it actually makes a lot of sense because again, on beginner to intermediate level players, most games are lost because of blunders. And therefore, being cautious and trying to keep your position safe makes a lot of sense. But again, that's not how you level up, because if you look at games of strong players, they do follow this rule, offense is the best defense. And here black just ignored it altogether and played queen takes b2, which is a great move indeed. Instead of worrying about this thing, black creates his own threats. Now knight takes c7 indeed, white wins the rook, but now queen to c1 check, black goes on the counterattack, queen d1, bishop f2, little tactics trying to deflect the king and win their queen after that. King e2 tries to hold on to the defense, but fails to this checkmate. If you recognize yourself in some of these mistakes, it's actually a good sign. It means you are ready for the next level. If you want to work on this systematically, I have a complete course called Booster Elo Bundle, which is designed to provide you with all the tools necessary to build this level of thinking into a habit step by step. The details are below if you're interested, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in my next videos.